again, YouTube. This is Dr. Kendo, and welcome back to the Mods. Get it? Move or die mod, M-O-D, mods. Yeah. Okay, well, we've got today a special episode for Undertale. Of course, this is only some Undertale characters. There's like a cajillion main characters we could do, and so I'm doing, I think, about 6 of them right now. We got Frisk, Flowey, Toriel, Papyrus in this first matchup. There will be a few more, so do not fret. I will show off some other ones, but of course, this game, Move or Die, somewhat recently came out of early access and released to everybody. It's basically, the concept is, you move or you die. That makes sense, right? But within that move or die concept, you've got to play these minigames. So in a sort of, I guess, Mario Party style of things, that moves really fast though. You've got to play minigame after minigame while not dying and moving. So I always use Photoshop as my image editor of choice whenever I am creating these mods and stuff for Move or Die. And it's a pretty simple, I guess, method, the way that I do it at least. You can do a complex version of modding if you know how to use Flash for animation and some other texture, exporters and things like that. And this is crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I'm playing as Frisk right now in this blue, so you guys can see that whatever I'm doing in the blue is, that's me, but all the other ones are AI bots because you actually cannot take your modded characters online. It is a shame to me. I would have loved that to be a feature. But anyway, so here we go. Jumpshot is basically a game where you've got to jump, and as you jump, you'll do a front flip, and within that front flip, you've got to aim or do your best at aiming, and oh my gosh, this is intense! Oh, that was so close. Look at that! The beam almost hit me, but you basically have to shoot out a beam as you're doing this crazy game. But we'll go ahead and show a little bit of Photoshop here in a second, but you can see that Frisk, basically all these characters have their legs wide apart, and Papyrus, I'm quite shocked that I actually made it work because the characters in this game, as you can see here in Photoshop, this is kind of the files that I'm dealing with whenever I'm modding characters. I almost always start with this character called Brains right there. You can see that sort of minion chicken nugget shaped character right there with arms and legs. Well, the legs are separate from it right now so that you can actually mod specifically where your legs are going to go. But right now I'm actually just finishing up the logo and stuff for Frisk, so this is to show off how I did the logo. Kind of a quick workaround if your logo is not that circular shape, which is, what Move or Die the game wants your logo to fit into. You can use the magic wand tool, and on the layer that shows all of Brains' body parts and things and his logo, well, just use the magic wand on the circle around right here for this logo and make sure that everything is filled in, and then go over to select and do inverse in Photoshop. And from the inverse, then we'll select the layer that has that rectangular image for our Frisk logo and just delete anything outside of that. Inverse basically means that we deleted everything other than that circle shape, what was in there. And so there you go. Moving that layer to the front, you can see that the Frisk logo and whatnot is there. Now, of course, I showed off Frisk actually facing to our left. It would be to Frisk's right, but that's actually going to create some complications. We'll talk about what I mean in a moment, but I did it for illustrative purposes. And you can see right here, we've got me as Papyrus, then we've got Sans, we've got the other playable character, which I'm not even going to say the name because Undertale fans are brutal and they always say that it's pronounced a certain way, and I'm not even going to go there with you guys. And Flowey, of course, on the end. So we'll play maybe a different game, Fizzle Floor and Vertigo. Why not? These are just some more mini games to select from, and I'm probably going to download some new mini games and stuff because eventually in this series we will have shown off all of the mini games. I guess that you guys will be bored of seeing the same ones over and over again. But yes, hopefully you noticed the game that already ended right there, that mini game. But hopefully you guys notice also, if you look kind of down at the bottom middle at any point in these mini games, are logos that I've created and stuff. Of course, that's where the circular logo goes. If you were wondering, when I was photoshopping that Frisk logo, that's where they are, down at the bottom middle for your character's icon. But I will probably leave this here and go back to my original point, leave all this where it's at, and talk about Frisk. If Frisk was facing to our left, but to Frisk's right, you want the characters actually to be facing the other way. Like you can see, most of my characters that I do, they are facing to our right. And the reason that you want them for that is because otherwise the legs and stuff, they'll be moving backwards. It's like they'll be backwards walking. Or if they're holding their gun, they'll be looking the opposite direction that their gun is facing. So, if you want your characters to kind of adhere to the Move or Die character characters' ways and the way that they're supposed to be looking to make the most sense, at least, then you'll want to do that. So of course you can see my Photoshop file there. I have flipped Frisk around to be facing the correct way. But other than that, I guess the only other thing to mention is that you guys noticed while I was playing, I made these characters more like how they actually look in Undertale. The past 2 episodes that I've done of this series that were not the one of me being a character, by the way, I am an official playable character. The developers did put me in. So Dr. Kendo, if you type that in at the menu, DrKenDo, you'll get to play as my head, but that's beside the point, just a random plug. But if you've seen my other modding episodes for this game, you'll notice that, of course, I created all the characters, you know, like Five Nights at Freddy's, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Friends. I created them with that little chicken nugget, wide, fat character shape with the tiny legs. I'll probably do that most of the time, but I did want to show you that sometimes it is possible to create the characters somewhat more realistic to how they really look in their own universes. I won't do this all the time. It's just something that I thought Undertale, maybe it would look good here if we did kind of these Undertale 8-bit guys and gals in this game in their normal art style. But thank you to all of you, and I will do some more Undertale characters later on since there are just a ton of them. You know, at least Metaton needs to be in here, and probably a few others. But I hope you enjoyed this, and you can get all these mods on the Steam Workshop now, and I will catch you on the next vid, and thanks for viewing.
The flames are still all burning, and these games are dead.